1940. The Great War has just begun, and the British government passes the Defence of the Realm Act, DORA. But nowhere would its shadow fall more darkly than over Ireland. From censorship to curfews, arrests to executions, DORA wasn't just a wartime measure. In Ireland, it became a tool of political suppression. And in this episode, we'll explore how DORA reshaped Irish politics, intensified resistance, and what might have happened if it had never been passed. Part 1. What was DORA and how did it reach Ireland? Britain introduced the Defence of the Realm Act just days after entering World War I in August 1940. It gave the government sweeping emergency powers. But in Ireland, DORA was more than just wartime regulation. It was colonial control on steroids. In Ireland, DORA allowed British authorities to censor newspapers and speeches, ban public meetings, arrest people without trial, and forcibly close down political organizations. Any suspicion of sedition or nationalist activity? You could be jailed, no trial needed. Part 2. DORA's impact on Irish life. Newspapers such as the Irish Worker and Irish Freedom were shut down. Speeches by nationalists, including members of Sinn Féin and the Irish Volunteers, were banned or heavily edited. Even private letters were opened and monitored. Here's where things get even more repressive. Under Order 256, it became illegal to spread false reports or rumors likely to cause disaffection. In Ireland, this meant the suppression of even the idea of home rule, independence, or criticizing the British Army. Irish volunteers were surveilled constantly. The Royal Irish Constabulary, RIC, already a symbol of colonial power, were granted extraordinary DORA powers, house searches, bans on public gatherings, and preemptive arrests. Writers, editors, and speakers, especially those sympathetic to nationalism, were arrested under vague charges of alarming the public. Simply talking about German sympathies or Irish neutrality could land you in prison. Part 3. DORA and the 1916 Easter Rising. DORA didn't prevent rebellion. It may have helped provoke one. Many Irish nationalists saw DORA as confirmation that Britain had no intention of granting Ireland autonomy. The 1916 Easter Rising was partly a response to the oppressive climate DORA created. After the Rising, thousands of Irish people were arrested under DORA powers, including many who weren't involved. Executions of leaders like Patrick Pearse and James Connolly were made legal through DORA's emergency military tribunals. DORA made it possible to sentence civilians by court-martial and then execute them without appeal. Part 4. What if DORA had never been enforced in Ireland? But what if the Defence of the Realm Act had never been applied to Ireland? Ireland without DORA means the Irish volunteers grow openly without being pushed underground. Sinn Féin and other nationalist voices remain in the public sphere, not radicalized by suppression. The Easter Rising either doesn't happen or takes place with broader legal political support. The executions of 1916 leaders likely never occur, avoiding the massive public backlash that turned moderate Irish citizens into Republicans. And maybe, just maybe, home rule becomes reality peacefully, without a war of independence or a partitioned Ireland. DORA may have started as wartime policy, but in Ireland it became a tool of domination. It silenced voices, sparked rebellion, and helped radicalize a generation. When you hear emergency powers, remember, in Ireland they weren't just used to win a war. They were used to hold on to an empire. What do you think would have happened if DORA had never touched Irish soil? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like if you learned something new, and subscribe for more history that asks, what if, instead of just what was.